ideas from a cooperative project for acquiring skills essential to learning.
Welcome to the Security Chipmunks podcast, where we keep chipping away at it. I'm Edna Johnson. I'm here with my co-host, Neil Smalley.
Hello.
And today we have our guest, FedEx.
Hello, hello.
Welcome, FedEx. We're so glad to have you.
Glad to be here.
Yeah. Would you like to say a couple of words about yourself?
Sure thing. My name is Federico Castro, but I actually known and go by FedEx everywhere on socials, and you'll find me anywhere as FedEx. That's kind of my nickname, and I made it into my brand. So, yeah, I'm a security analyst for a company right now, but in reality, I'm just a technology, networking, cybersecurity enthusiast that is always trying to stay ahead and like what's new, what can I learn, and always learning. It's a non-stop and learning journey.
I know. I always see any conference I go to, doesn't matter if it's local or if I'm flying, out of state, I run into you. You're everywhere now.
So I've been told. I've been told that I'm everywhere, and yeah, I've been lucky enough to be able to participate in several conferences recently.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think this is a great way to actually learn and at the same time networking. You meet individuals
Absolutely.
from all kind of backgrounds and all kinds of history. So I do enjoy when possible going to a conference.
Yeah, that's great. So I wanted to ask you about, there's a lot of emerging technologies in our field, and lately it's been particularly AI. So speaking of like artificial intelligence and maybe machine learning, how do you think that like influences cybersecurity strategies nowadays?
Well, so AI is not something new. I mean, we've been dealing in cybersecurity with AI back in the 70s and so. The what is actually new is the agentic AI, this AI that is actually reasonable, that the people can actually type in and now get a response back, and that's what's actually was changing. So it is really changing a lot because I mean, think about it. When I was actually growing up, I think I did math doing with an abacus. And, you count the little pills to one side, and now kids uses calculators. I use a typewriter. Now my kids use computers, and so it is changing. I think that the AI technology is going to change the way we do our day-to-day tasks. I've been actually recently taking a couple of courses from Jason Haddix and Arcane Security, and you know, if I think that I've been doing something with AI, the guys that are there taking those classes and the quality of teaching on those classes are just way beyond my time. Uh, there's a lot of technology. I think it's just going to revolutionize the way we do our things. Now, it's not going to replace the human being, but it is definitely going to make us more productive if we know how to use the tool. Because at the end of the day, AI is a tool.
That's very true.
Absolutely.
How is the class with Jason Haddix? I've heard great things.
Well, Jason has developed a methodology where he actually goes. I mean, if you ever had the opportunity to sit down with him and seen his classes or actually seen his talks, you'll know that he's probably one of the persons that at the last minute he's making changes because technology, for instance, AI, is so revolutionary that it's happening so quite often that he's making changes as he goes sometimes. And so Jason is trying to keep up with everything that is new. He's bringing you insights. He's bringing in his methodology. He actually does share his methodology with the people in the class, which is something that you don't see a lot of people to do that. I mean, I've been in classes where, you're going to learn a curriculum, but with his classes, you're going to learn the curriculum. It's going to be an open conversation. So if you got a question, please interrupt me. If you got something to say, please bring it. If I don't know the answer, we're going to search it together. And so creates a really great environment for you to learn and actually make these hires. out of the last class that I just finished last week with him, I decided to start creating my first GPT agents, which I have played with ChatGPT here and there. I definitely had used it to correct my Spanglish, but now I actually created a chatbot or an actual bot that will pull. It will actually will help me to get informations on CVEs and compile all in one response. So it's just gonna make my life more easy when it comes to the two-stage patches because I'm just gonna dump the CVEs into the chatbot and it's just gonna give me a lineup and percentile and EPSS score and even it's actually I can give you a demo on it, but it will actually drop down a summary for CISOs and a summary for regular users. So it's just gonna make my reports faster.
That sounds really interesting. I love that you're thinking about also delivering reports to upper level management and making it so that it fits for their needs as well. And that really helps you stand out as a um, security person when you're able to deliver those reports to your C-level suite.
Yeah,
That's
so
brilliant.
I actually specifically today I went back to work today and I started working on integrating that bot into our ecosystem because every company is going to tell you we can use AI. Some companies will tell you no AI. Some companies tell you yes, but here's what we can use now. We know that ChatGPT is an open model that whatever you put in there is going to stay in OpenAI is going to see your stuff. So you really don't want to put any proprietary information or company information on open source. You want to make sure that you keep that as a secure person. You don't want to reveal the secret sauce or actually spill the beans or get fired because you just put the improper information on an open source. And so we do have a Copilot integration. We do have Copilot, and Microsoft has stated that they're going to keep all your data secure under the Copilot environment. So actually went and create an agent because that's how they call it in Copilot. They call it agents, but that's the same thing and test it out. And when I presented to my boss, he was like, "Whoa!" Like he was kind of like, "Okay, I like this. What else can we do?" So he was already asking for more. And the reason why he asked for more is because he say, okay, so how can we integrate some of the tasks that we do to do manually to get these agents to work? And if you actually has been keeping up with the AI technology, last week something new came out. It's called MCPs, and that is
Yes,
gonna make AI and the agentic AI go to the next level.
absolutely. There's already a Ghidra plugin for it, I believe. Somebody made a.
Well, and I seen a couple videos. I mean, all the uh, influencers and people started creating, the videos about NCP, but it's not something that I seen someone pull it out together yet and working. So we're still testing those waters. However, Daniel Misler, the creator of Fabric, has been talking about this concept since 2016. It might not call it MCPs, but he called it I think in his word, when his white paper, it was the demons. And it's basically how it's all API connected, how your agent or your daemon or your NCP server is going to talk to another NCP server that's going to do X, Y, and Z. And so it's going to become to the point where you're going to, need a task. And let's just say that I'm going to say, well, I'm gonna need gas tomorrow. So my NCP already know, hey, FedEx is gonna need gas tomorrow. Let's pull out what is the prices on gases and what's the desirable route, and he's gonna go to work on this route. So I'm gonna tell him this, and so he's gonna immediately go and act out and ask to the other MCPs, and it's gonna be automatically. That's gonna make our life more interesting. That's gonna make our life more. We're gonna become a little bit more efficient. You know, I just think that the technology is amazing. At the end of the day, it is still a tool. And just like a tool, we need somebody that operates it, somebody that learns it. And if you don't type the right input, you get a bad output. Same thing as using a calculator. If you can have the most expensive calculator in the world, but if you don't know what kind of formula you enter, you will not get the right results. And that's the same thing I see AI. You have to be able to use the tools in order to get the results.
Exactly. Well, that's brilliant.
Certainly.
So now, have you actually worked or experimented with AI?
I haven't done much myself. I've ran some queries on ChatGPT, and I've done some work with the AI honeybots, but putting together custom prompts like that, not really.
And that's the thing. I like I say, I thought I actually knew something, and I was doing the same thing. And then it's when you get to these classes that you realize, wow, there's so much potential to tap in that we are barely touching the first layer of what the systems can do for us. Um, and yet it's not a new technology; it's a really old technology. We just started exploring it more and more. And now the computational capacity or computers are becoming more powerful, so it can run this type of models and stuff. So I'm fascinated by the possibilities in here.
Awesome. Glad to hear it.
Very cool. So I had originally come across you. I think you had done an interview with Carla over at Greylog. I think it was like DEF CON or something. So that's how I originally found out about you. But
That's awesome. So you probably saw it in my YouTube channel.
yes.
Yes, I have a small YouTube channel that I post videos here and there. As Edna mentioned, um, I do go to some conference, and when I go to the conference, I take the advantage and just talk to the people. I guess I'm an introvert on an extrovert when it comes to those things, because I mean I do need my time for myself. But yes, that detection threat hunting engineering conference is one of the best conference I ever gone for technical workshop. So this was not much of one of those conferences that there was a lot of networking, even though there was networking involved. This was a technical 100% beautiful. I mean, I can't wait for the tickets to come out to 2025 so I can immediately pay for it, because talking about stuff that you learn, I mean, it was red, blue, purple. People put in the workshops. And Carla was one of those persons that had a workshop on Greylog and how to set up a Greylog server and how to actually get logs. And so she created a whole workshop, and she was there present. And I mean, I'm telling you, that was the first actually time that I experienced with Greylog. And I had some issues setting up the box, but she was right there. They were there with you. And so she was like, "Oh, you know what? Let's just fix this and let's try this and make sure you got this Ubuntu distro." And it's just nice. I mean, it was a learning experience for sure. It was super packed. I mean, I gotta tell you, 2 days it was not enough for all the type of material that was there. Now, there is one of those things about that conference. It was that they actually left the workshops open longer than the 2 days only. So you can, if you are a disciplined person and you had the time, you can go back and take more time and follow the instructions on it. And even
That's nice.
the workshop leaders were still available on the Discord to answer any type of questions that you might have or come across.
Yeah, some of my favorite capture the flags are the ones that leave the challenges up even after it's over, so you can go back and work on the ones you didn't have time for.
Yeah, ET and I recently participated on an ambition competition, CTF, and while I did not got all the flags, it was something that I wished they would have left it open to go and keep trying, because I think it's the first time I've seen it. It's a vision competition, so it's AI, you attacking the AI, but it's a CTF competition, voice prompted. So there was no, all hacking was done through your voice. All hacking is, you actually doing hacking, like human hacking, but I guess it's an AI right now, it's a machine, but yeah, it's just different.
Yeah, that was a fun competition.
Yeah, the guys at Red Sea, it was awesome.
They did a great job with that. Yeah. So that kind of brings me to my next question. So what's the next conference that you're going to go to?
To tell you the truth, I just looked at my calendar and I believe I'm actually going to be in a conference next week.
Next week already?
Yeah, I just realized that today. I need to verify it and make sure, but I think I'll be next week on Novi4Con.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
That should be good.
So, as you know, Novi4 is a company that it's one of the biggest companies for user training, user behavior training, and phishing training. I think a lot of the companies use them. I mean, there's still other competitors there too, but it's either, I think it's what, Proofpoint, or I think that's the other company, and then Novi4. I think that's just the two biggest ones that does this kind of training. There's other companies getting in between, but yeah, they put in their conference soon. And since we are a shop that use Novi4, then we'll be going in there to learn and see what's new. 90%. I mean, all the reports that's coming out recently on cybersecurity, they all agree that almost 90% of the attacks and breaches in cybersecurity are done because of uh, phishing. So it's always good to try to stay ahead of the curve. And I got to tell you, with AI, you're not finding that misspelling, Kino Nigeria sending you the emails anymore. They're really getting crafty.
Yeah, and those that are doing phishing, they now have access to ChatGPT. So if they had language barriers writing those emails, they now have the tools to make them better. So all
Oh
of the
my God.
phishing emails are leveling up.
Yeah, and even creating code. I mean, if you struggle writing in Python or JavaScript or even PowerShell, you can use the AI language model and say, "Hey, I'm looking for a script that does this and this, and I wanted to read it in this language," and it will write it down for you. And then you can test it out and you can make corrections. So, I mean, it's leveraging the tool to make yourself more better. I believe 4.0. Yeah, I think 4. Yeah, what is it? 4. Yeah, 4.0. The ChatGPT 4.0 model actually does better for coding and everything. So it can check your code. It can tell you where you have any issues. And there's other companies right now that actually in doing code revision and implementing AI. So now the AI will tell you where your script is failing as you're writing the code. I'm
That's
telling you,
great.
it's revolutionizing the way we work.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's not, this is a vendor conference, so the next one really, I think it's gonna be HackSpaceCon.
Oh, nice. I'll be there too.
Yes, I submitted for volunteering this time, so
Oh,
hopefully
good.
they get me accepted and I'll be there volunteering. So maybe you see me there telling you, it's this way.
Yes, that'd be great.
Definitely seems very popular. I've heard lots of people talking about that one.
I've never been there. It's just, they said it's amazing, and especially the fact that, I mean, it's the only conference that you actually get to go one day at NASA. Like the first date is actually done in NASA. It's just amazing.
So cool.
Yeah, it is cool. It does get the geeky out of me.
So I noticed on your profile you have neurodiverse. How's that been a part of your journey, and where does that fit in?
Oof, that is the struggle and a superpower all combined at the same time. Um, when I was dating my wife, actually, dating, and when we got married, my wife actually has a master's in mental health counseling and psychology and all this other stuff. So, she's like, man, you need to actually get diagnosed. You need to get help because you're all over the place. And so, yeah, I got diagnosed, and they're like, oh yeah, you have ADHD, man. You need medication. You need to be able to do this thing. And I was like, you know what? A lot of the things make sense now, why I struggle so much, but at the same time, how other things came so easy for me. How can I learn things faster, or how can I actually pay attention to two or three things at the same time? And one thing that I had learned in here in cybersecurity is that a lot of people that I know are either neurodivergent or uh, there's some sort of a spectrum. And the reason why we excel as in cybersecurity is because we have that brain that takes a little bit different. We have that ability to actually being able to pay attention to a dashboard while doing something else at the same time, and something caught the corner of my eye, and I'm like, okay, let me look at this thing. Or we have that investigative eye, or that desire to go and dig deeper in that rabbit hole, and then we go into those maze and look for those needles on the haystack, and that's what makes us really good at the blue team, at defending, or at learning a new skill. At the same time, it can be a curse. Why? Because I can spend hours on the computer and then realize that I haven't stand up for just to give my body a break, or to drink water, or to even go to the bathroom. And that's kind of one of those things. It can be addictive. We can get super hyper focused, but it is definitely one of those things that I think it comes hand to hand. And I've seen a lot of people in cybersecurity mention things like that. I mean, for me, like I said, it's a struggle, but it's a superpower at the same time.
Very true.
And can relate with that a lot. So, yeah, thank you for sharing.
Oh no, of course. One of the things is I've been open. Like in my company, I'm super open with my boss, and they know. I especially I think it was a couple of years back. There was a shortage of medication, and while I did not struggle to do my job, I struggled to stay focused on task because I wasn't on. I didn't have my medication, and they knew. They're like, "Have you had your medication?" I was like, "No," and like, "Oh, okay." You just be open and tell your struggles, because at the end of the day, people know they want. You need to be real and tell them, "Hey, this is what I'm struggling with. If you see me doing this, please correct me." And that's one thing I told my boss. If you see me doing interrupting you, for example, please correct me. I'm not gonna get offended because you corrected me if I'm interrupting you, because I'm too passionate, too excited, or I'm actually guiding the conversation to you know to where it doesn't need to be at this moment. I'm not staying focused on track. And so I think it's just it's come with the whole FedEx package, and that's what I tell everybody. That's the whole package.
Yeah, I like that. I like how you put it. It's the whole FedEx package.
I know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
sometimes it can be. I do know for a fact that sometimes I can get on my wife nerves for that. It's just like, oh God, go drink your medication.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just one of those things. I don't know. It's a struggle, but at the same time, you start learning how to live with the struggle, and you keep pushing through.
Yeah. So do you have your number one tip for something that you think our listeners should know? Something they should keep in mind?
Never give up.
Yeah.
You know, when I was a kid, and I was learning how to walk, I think I fell many times. Now, I might not remember, but I'm sure that I fell and I stand up many times. Same thing when I was learning how to drive a bicycle, and same thing when I was doing something for the first time. So I take that mentality to everything I do. You might not be the best at first, and you might struggle, and you might actually fall, but just don't give up. Keep going, because at the end of the day, it is you and only you that can get you up and continue. And it's you that you desire that's gonna make the change the difference. Gonna make the difference. You know, if you just give up, then that's it. But if you keep going, you might realize it's not something that is for you, but at least you didn't give up. And so I applied that to everything in life. You know, I, I am a horrible, horrible tester. I am a scared. I have testing anxiety. I struggle doing that. And right now, I'm making myself take the studies, guys, and doing testing because I want to go get a certification. And I'm pushing myself through. So, will I fail? I don't know. We'll see. I'll let you know if I pass my test or no. But I
Sounds
know
good.
I'm not going to give up.
Yeah, I think you're going to do great.
I don't know. It's just scary. I'm telling
Yeah.
you, I can know the topic. That's one thing with I don't know if it's an ADHD thing or no, but that's one thing that I know I struggle all my life is I can know a topic, and yet when you sit me down on an actual place where I had to do the testing and there's timing involved, I blanked out.
Okay. That's very inspirational. I'm glad you're going through and doing the hard thing and going to working on getting those certifications. All
Yeah,
right.
that's one thing that I think anybody, when people ask me how do I get in cybersecurity, and I say, well, everybody has a different path. I started in cybersecurity before I had a degree. There's people that had a degree and then they started in cybersecurity, so everybody's different. But one thing that I do notice for a fact is that a lot of companies do like to see those certifications. You know, um, I was blessed to have the opportunity that someone gave me the opportunity to get in the field without an actual degree, without a certification. I got into the field. I got my degree. I got my associates. I got my bachelor's. Now I'm actually going for my certifications. But everybody's a little bit different, and every path is different. You just never give up. Keep going. Keep pushing through.
Thank you. That's wonderful. All right. This has been an episode of Security Chipmunks. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And also subscribe to the FedEx channel. Thank you, everybody, for listening today.
Thank you so